Good morning. Good morning, Bent-Tree. Hey, it's another beautiful, foggy, rainy day. But Merry Christmas comes early, right? We don't want to see Santa sneaking in. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming this Saturday. I appreciate it. This is a nice crowd, and I'm sure Jim will appreciate that with his presentation as your general manager. But we want to get this started because there's a lot of good information today to talk about. So let's get her going. First, the mission always. The mission of our Lake and Wildlife is living here is a privilege that includes responsibility to take care of the natural world around us. Therefore, our Lake and Wildlife works to preserve the natural beauty and wildlife of Bent-Tree by encouraging BTCI and all residents to be good stewards of our natural resources. Our three key items that we always focus on in our vision is to monitor, educate, and volunteer. And we welcome you. Today, we will have our new partners that are here today. Board liaison report, which will be very short because it is non-existent today because Jim is here. So already begged off on us from the board, of course, right away. Committee reports, which we'll keep short. A treasurer's report, which will be great so you can see the year-end report of where your monies are going. And BTCI's annual report by Jim Pryor, which we're all looking forward to. And then we will adjourn. We won't have a report from the board, obviously. I had that up there just in case I already did come today. Let's move on to our committees. At Lake and Wildlife, we have these various committees, and they each give an update, a little update of what we're doing and what's going on. So for fundraising, we have Tamarack Treasures, and that is our major fundraiser. And today we have Deb White and Miss Teresa Hoppy, who handle Tamarack Treasures, and they're going to give just a short update, and I will let them come up and speak. Deb and Teresa, thank you for everything you did.
Brian trying to make us talk fast again. Hard to believe that another Tamarack Treasures has come and gone, folks. Well, maybe not, we're still exhausted. But Bent-Tree community once again came through in a super big way. This was a huge sale. If you haven't heard already, revenue from this sale was over $10,000. And math is not my forte, so I went to law school. But if my math is right, between the Spring Tamarack Treasures and the Holiday Boutique that we've just wrapped up, Tamarack Treasures brought in revenue a little over $21,000 for Lake and Wildlife this year. And that's not possible without the amazing community that we all live in. So for those of you that have just moved in, y'all made the right choice. And for those that were here for the sale, we want to thank each and every person who shopped,
Snacked,
purchased,
performed,
collected,
donated,
sorted,
priced,
hauled,
baked,
set up,
tallied,
bagged,
cashiered,
boxed.
or schlepped.
It truly takes a village to pull this off, and we want to thank each and every one of you that helped in any of these ways for making this year so successful and so much easier for Teresa and I.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And there are 4 gnomes over here who need homes, and they're going for $10 a piece or make an offer. And so just do that. Thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure working with you. And oh, yes, and so now, thank you. And so now Brian's going to play a little video, real short, of Tamarack Treasures 2025. Okay?
It's a little slow. There we go. Just to give you some pictures and ideas. If you want to speak, go ahead.
You're welcome.
For those who haven't been involved, this is the evolution of a Tamarack Treasures, from the first slide that was what it looked like in admin before our transportation team hauled, to all of our wonderful volunteers doing our setup work.
It really comes out nice and sparkly and pretty, and it's just so fun to do.
Great thing to say.
many thanks to Deb and Teresa and all the team for doing, as she said, over $21,000 for the two different. That is over 10% above the year before. That's 8% above the year before that. I know this started many years ago with many people in here, and right down to the campground and the old yard sales that started this whole thing up. So my appreciation again from all of us to Deb and Teresa. And I know that you're all aware that Deb and Teresa are trying to step back and have wanted to step back and will this year. Unfortunately, they've been so successful, they've worked themselves out of a job. And it's become very busy. It's not full-time, but it's close. And, this is what happens when you're really successful and it grows. So we're in need of some leadership to move this along this year. So if you're interested at all in leadership or being part of that team, contact me or Deb or Teresa. We appreciate it very much. And thanks again. It is just super. And it took the whole village. It really did. Okay, let's talk about communication. We'll just go back quick. There's a Wildlife Wednesday that you'll get in your email. If you're here for the first time, we'll get you on that list so you get that every Wednesday of what's going on. It's also in the Friday news. And communication is Miguel's work. Miguel, we thank you for all the work and Wednesdays and Fridays and the Echo. And so very important, and you'll be seeing more of that. I'm going to mention quickly the wild ones. You didn't know there were wild ones in Lake and Wildlife, did you? They've been here for years. This is a new program that Dara Sinclair started. Dara couldn't be with us today. She's up in New York with Kenny, her husband, and his father, who's very ill, so she's up in New York. And she wanted me to mention that that's their new First Mountain Native Plants group that she started, and she just sent emails out about it. So you'll see more information on that. And it's basically about what's native, what's nice to grow, what won't the deer eat, and what'll look nice in your yard and not have to have a lot of problems with. So I wanted to mention that today. Obviously, Tamarack Treasures. KBTV, Keep Bent-Tree Beautiful. We are also part of that, and the person that leads that may have a couple comments is Andy.
We just finished our outdoor decorations. I hope you enjoy it.
It was wonderful.
And we, in the last couple of weeks, with the help of Travis and the grounds crew people, have changed the cottage library into a model. We're working on a model model Firewise home, and then natural habitat. So if you go to the cottage and library, you'll see a 5-foot section of rock around the perimeter of the home, and then we put our mulch down, and then Dara and her team are planting the native species plants, and you'll see that.
Nice.
We have to keep it simple because it's the bus stop.
Okay, yeah.
So that's where we're at, okay? When you get your assessments coming up here in December, your HOA, or you know what I'm talking about, the assessments, there's a little thing that's been written on the very bottom for donations directly to Keep Bent-Tree Beautiful. We'll be purchasing, it looks like we're going to be purchasing a new pine, a spruce tree in front of the recycle. You've noticed one died, one is way down, has fallen down several times from the windstorms. That will eventually die. It will take a while. We're going to replace some big stuff. We do our annual spring planting, and then we're going to replace some of the ribbons and the garland that we have on our outdoor decorations. Okay?
Great. Thank you, Andy, and thanks for all you do. As you can see, there's multi-talented people in here. You saw Tamarack Treasures. You saw Andy at the keyboard, and his wife Marietta do a very good job. And also our videographer technician, Mr. John Hoppy, who was also at the keyboard. And his granddaughter, right, John? Very nice. That was very nice. Wildlife, our wildlife committee monitors and watches over deer, geese, and bear, and Miguel is chairman of that. Miguel, do you have a couple comments to make about wildlife?
Very briefly. In general, our wildlife is healthy. They are multiplying. And
Working it.
they're very, very, how can I say? It's very nice to have them around. During these times, you're going to see less of almost everything except deer and turkey. They don't go anywhere, they don't go to sleep, they continue to struggle. So winter is coming in 2 weeks. For the next 3 months, it will be with us. And in those days, you may see a bear or two. But the bears that you see then are going to be either a little slow or very anxious to eat, so keep your distance. Geese have flown away. Wood dogs are coming in. The hogs are under control. So we're in good shape. Thank you for
Thank you, Miguel. Lake and Streams, Chair of the Lake and Streams Group, Huff, our prominent fisherman, is with us today, and just going to say a couple words about year-end fishing, right, Huff?
Yeah, just very quickly, this time of the year, regarding the lake and fishing, 2 or 3 things occur. One is that we have 10 feeding stations that are feeding the fish. 7 are owned by private owners on the lake, and 3 are on the docks that we own ourselves. We clean those out and keep them running maybe a second at a time each day to keep the mechanism going. But the fish are somewhat dormant to the feeding this time of the year. We'll start feeding again when the water temperature gets to the right temperature. Sometime around 1st of April, we'll start feeding again. In the spring, we will feed either threadfin shad, or we'll feed either 5-inch bluegill, or we'll feed crawfish for additional food sources for the fish. This time of year, believe it or not, the fishing is excellent. You wouldn't think so, but this is the time of year when really big fish can be caught. Friend of ours, Roger Marshall, who's I could call the dock master, he fishes from the dock. He caught like 8 or 9 big bass the other day from the dock. So if you get a chance to go fishing, please do so. And the lake is in very good condition.
Thank you, Huff. Thanks very much. It is. And also regarding the monitoring of the streams, which we do under that committee, myself and Mason and many other people that help out, the lake is in good shape, and the dissolved oxygen is high, 8 to 9. Yes?
Is somebody going to, maybe later, but is somebody going to address the dredging issue?
Yes. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, that's why it's, oh, you can't see it. That's right. It's down low. Yeah. Jim will have some real good details for you. And pH is high. There's hardly any phosphates or nitrates in there. Levels are low, which is okay. Bacteria is good. We had a little bit of an upsurge in Long Swamp up north, and off of Coffee Cove, we did a recheck the next month, and Danny Day does that, as you know, and the bacteria levels had dropped almost to 0, so we're in good shape there. And there's nothing upstream, there's nothing at any of the camps or anything like that, so we're good. Habitat conservation, as you can see, that was that education and planting that Daryl was working on. She's not here today, but we're moving forward with that. You've seen that? Communications, we talked about that, the Friday, Wednesday, and the Echo that Miguel does. I think we can move forward and keep going. Projects that are going on, which Jim White handles a lot of that in the power lines and such, and also trail sign renewals. Jim, is there anything you want to bring up? Or?
All the signs have been, new signs are up. So we appreciate everybody that stepped forward to sponsor those signs and those trails, and appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Jim. Special events. We always have a few special events, but one of the major ones right now is the holiday party, which is closed out and will take place on 13th, next Saturday. Jan is heading that up in Beth. Jan, is there anything that you want to mention on that?
No, we have the head count in, and the tavern is on board with us, so I think we're set to go.
Good. Thank you for the good job you've done on that so far. Oh, the beer's in the cooler? Oh. We're ready.
Let me
comment on that just real quick. We are gonna be providing beer and wine, which the tavern, as long as they have a bartender there, we can provide it. So Lake and Wildlife is providing it, and all sales will be going back to the Lake and Wildlife budget. So this is something new this year that we're trying, we're gonna see how it goes. We have absolutely no idea who drinks wine and who drinks beer, so we'll learn as we go.
Or both.
It's kind of nice because it will add to the budget a little bit.
Yeah, that was a very good idea, Jan. That was,
How many people, what was the final?
63.
That's nice.
yeah, it's 60 to 80. Every now and then we hit that 100, but it's very, yeah. It's been good. Volunteer trails. We can't miss the trails. Mason is the committee chair over the trails.
I think we spoke about a lot of this last time we were here. Our October work day, I think we had 22 people. It's been a long time. I think that's the number. We didn't get to the bridge that day because when I had started it the week before, I decided it was in too bad a shape to have the work crew work on it that day, and we ended up pretty much doing a major rehab on it. And we had some leftover treks from the all-access walkway that we've put on there that is nice anti-skid now. And we had to add a couple stringers, repair every stringer that was out there, and replace a couple posts and that kind of stuff. So it should last a little while. I almost, by the time we were done, almost wish we had torn it down and rebuilt it from the beginning. But that's the bridge. We're working on the Forever Memorial Trail. The land swap appears to be a dead item. So we're looking for a stream crossing. I've been out there with Travis and his crew. It's going to be a tough task to get a stream crossing in on that. And the plan is to go down the opposite side of the creek from the starting point and then cross over, get onto the old trail and continue on down to the bottom and then back. We're looking at alternate routes to go around, and that's a project that's in the works. A hiking club had 15 people, I believe, for our silent hike the other night. It was supposed to be a moonlight hike, but it was mostly a cloud hike with a light mist. But we had a good time. It's a silent hike. It's a good time of the year to do reflections. I'll be putting out the hiking schedule for 2026 probably next week, so keep an eye on the Friday news and the Wildlife Wednesdays for that. The first hike of the year will be on Sharp Top Mountain. We always do that January 1st. And you'll have to file a waiver form with Young Life Camp on that. And all the information for that will be in the Friday news or Wildlife Wednesdays. And that's it.
Thank you, Mason. Appreciate it, and all the work you're doing on the trails as well as that bridge. You put on 99% of that work yourself, and I know I helped a bit.
I had some good help on that.
Yeah.
I failed to mention that, but thank you.
No, that's okay. James Smith was there as usual when we need him. As you can see by the stringers are bad. There's 3 that are bad, rotten here. And then, let me go back again. When he started to finish it, he had to put 2 new stringers in here, a new one in the middle, and then of course refinish the sides and so on. And I just want to mention, which was really neat, we were working like you say, and you were working hard on it. And then at a lunchtime and a break time, here comes Travis and his group from BTCI, the maintenance group, and said, hey, we can help. So they helped out. You know, Jim.
They saw I was taking too long. They dragged me across the finish line.
But that was a nice one. And one last note, of course, we can't help but mention the decorator, Mason's wife Stephanie, who decorated the bridge. It looks very nice. Finishing touch. Oh, all right, let's move on to some financials. Deb is your treasurer, and she's going to explain some year-end numbers for you. Deb?
Denise.
Denise. Can you get some Denise?
Thank you again. As Deb White had said, we've We really had a busy month in November. All of that is Tamarack Treasures. We did bring in more than the $10,000, so it really did set us up for a lot of opportunities to do some additional work in 2026. But we, overall, we started the year with a little over 18,000. Our total revenue that we have brought in was a little over 31,000. Our expenses were about 24,000, and our balance as of the end of November is about 26,000. And so I won't read off all of those, but our big revenue sources really were the Tamarack Treasures with more than 21,000 coming in. We had hanging baskets sales, 4,200 coming in. We've got offsetting expenses. And the sign renewal program. So those were some of the larger opportunities for revenue. On the expense side, we've done trails with the purchase of some benches, and there's still budget money there that hasn't been spent that'll probably move forward into 2026. The Habitat Conservation group is doing education and purchasing seeds and plants, and that work will continue. And stream monitoring, and also the community garden. Those were some of the maybe larger expenses that we've had. But thank you to everybody on the volunteer side, the donation side, and just the general work. We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to another productive 2026.
Thank you, Denise. We appreciate it. She does a wonderful job with the numbers and with, keeping track of expenses. I'm just going to mention a couple of things very quickly about the year. We're projected to finish the year at about 103% of budget revenue. We are going to come in at probably 57% of expenses. And everybody's been watching the numbers because we know there's a limited income, and, let's watch what we spend because there's next year. And what are we going to do with Tamarack Treasures? Are we going to have two? We're going to have one? So we're taking that into consideration, but your executive committee has been very conservative and will be in the coming year. It's been very good. I will mention that before we go further, there's one more important thing that's very important here, and that's volunteers. And Megan's got some numbers. I just want her to come up and share with you just for a second because that's what makes this thing work. Megan?
Thank you. So we've already highlighted the main things about Lake and Wildlife. All the people came up and talked about what they do, right? So Tamarack Treasures is how we make all of our money so that we can do all the things that all these wonderful people have talked about today, our trail maintenance and our planting and keeping Bent-Tree beautiful. So I think it's really important to kind of track the efforts that we make and what goes into all of the maintenance and the care and the love of Bent-Tree. And it's an astounding number. I still think it's a bit low, but for 2025, and this is only through December 1st, it's 4,266 hours of time that people put in. Yeah. So a couple of highlights here. So, and 1,900 of that is Tamarack Treasures. That's how much manpower, just to give you an idea. So the sale itself is 3 hours one day, 5 hours, so the sale itself is 8 to 10 hours, but it takes 1,973 man hours to put that on. So for $21,000, I'm not, just like Deb, I'm terrible at math, but that is quite a feat, right? But then you talk about Mason leading trail maintenance, that's almost 300 hours in just maintaining our trails. That doesn't include them like building out Chestnut Cove Trail. That's a separate line item on there. That's almost 100 hours. And that started, 2 years ago, Mason? So it's only 100 hours this year of carving those things out. Keep Bent-Tree beautiful is hundreds of hours. We break it down by decorations and planting and maintenance, right? I don't know if you guys know this, but there's individual zones that people are in charge of that they work on constantly. You'll see, especially, Lou and Jan down there at, Bent-Tree Road, right down there, right? Risking their lives, right? You'll see them in their spiffy volunteer shirts, right? So always look for the volunteer shirts, right? But cutting down pine trees along power lines, right? That stops Amicalola from coming in and spraying pesticides and things like that. The reason that they're not poisoning our community is because people are out there on the side of the road cutting down pine trees. So just all the little things maybe we don't think about. Our stream keepers that are testing the safety of our water. That's over 300 hours this year alone, right? That's people getting in the water, looking at the organisms and testing the quality. Like, these are not small feats. We have brilliant people, we have hardworking people, we have dedicated people, and I just like to call that out. So a round of applause for all of our volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Very, very important. And she tracks all those hours, and she also does that for a very good reason, not only for us, so we can see who we have as volunteers and where and so on. But when we tally that up, there's a lot of things that we do that Bent-Tree could have been doing that we could have been paying for. So at the end of the year, she meets with Bent-Tree, and Jim can even expound on that when he talks, but we total those hours, we go over them with them. There's a dollar figure per hour that they use to calculate how much that value is from volunteer work to Bent-Tree. And that works through a tax deduction of sorts, so that saves them money, not only in expenditures, but also gives them some credits as far as how the taxes work, and it saves them money and it saves us money. And I know last year, before we even got close to this number, it was close to $50,000.
Yeah, it's like $42 an hour is the estimate.
So, yeah, volunteer work adds up to save all of us money and help all of us. Okay. Upcoming events. January, there will be no meeting. As you know, January and July, we do not have a meeting. So in February, we'll have a speaker in a group that are in here in Bent-Tree that sponsors bluebirds and bluebird houses and so on. So we're going to have a little bird education. Let us know what you think. If you can help, if you'd like to volunteer, please do so. You can do that at benttreelw@gmail.com. And we're all in the directory. Brian Vassar, I'm your co-chair. Jim White's the other co-chair of our group. We're all here. We're all staying. I'm extending my co-chair position for another year because that's just the way it has to be, and I think that's what I need to do. And so I will be here for another year. And then thank you. Still stay around with water and lakes and streams because I like getting wet. But anyway. Actually, I need to time with Mason so we can commemorate. So anyway, feel free to. Now, this gentleman needs no introduction, but our general manager, COO, Jim Pryor from Bent-Tree Corporate. Jim, come on up and I'll get your presentation put in.
All right, thank you.